Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone Arena action, and we have a choice between Paladin, Rogue, and Warlock. I actually played Rogue somewhat recently, so it's between Paladin and Warlock, and the longest of these classes to have had to wait for me to play him in the arena is indeed the Warlock. They say the only way to conquer your fears is to face them directly, so let's go ahead and grab Mr. Warlock here and see how we do. Just a fun fact. I have like a 50 or higher % success rate with all the classes, except for the Warlock, where my rate since the wipe is a solid 1 win and 4 losses in the arena. So the Warlock is like hands down my comically worst class. There are some classes like the Shaman where my win rate is 100% and some where it's like 70% or 80%, but the Warlock sort of eludes me. We'll see how this goes. Knife Juggler, doesn't matter what class you're playing, this is far and away the best rare here, so we'll be happy to pick that up. We get this excellent pack here. Boy. Well, the Sacrificial Pact I don't think is really playable. The Wind Fury Harpy is mega aggressive, but we'll take the Oasis Snapjaw. It's not the greatest card here, but maybe I'll get some cards to buff him up, and we'll be good to go. So we have an interesting choice here. We could of course get some removal, which is nice, but I do love the Flame Imps. Super aggressive, really good to drop on turn 1. I don't know if I can take it over a Demon Fire, though. This is removal, and it's also buffing. It's very flexible, so we'll hope to see some Flame Imps later on. This is a very easy choice here. Dread Infernal. It's kind of like Fire Elemental in the sense that I'll pretty much take every one of these that I see, although it's obviously not nearly as good, but definitely better than these sort of cheapo cards over there. Alright, well, the Blue Guild Warriors, some nice quasi-removal, but I'm going to take Voidwalker with Demon Fire. It's a pretty nifty combo. And the 1-3 taunt is really nice. It's a pain for your opponents to deal with, so I'm happy to grab it into my deck. Power Overwhelming is a card I really did enjoy playing with last time. However, I think I'd like to take one of these guards here. In fact, I think I'll take the Mogushan Warden right now, just to make sure that I have this nice blocker in my deck at some point. Another Mogushan Warden, don't need another one, we'll take Mortal Coil, the #1 most often voted, please God, please don't have that card. Here, very easy call. The swamp is just nice, but the Blood Imp just screws things over for your opponents so much, it's just crazy. Very tough call here. Gotta pick between a Spellbreaker or the Ammonia Berserker. The Ammonia Berserker is the best 2-drop out there, but I'm gonna take the Spellbreaker. It's the best silencing card in the game, and it leaves behind a pretty nice body. It's part of why it's so good. We can take a second Knife Juggler. No, I'm gonna grab Stampeding Kodo. It's a very, very good card. Kills things when it drops into play, and it's nice. Oh no! I have to choose between Shattered Sun Cleric or Sen'jin. Both are incredibly good. I guess the Sen'jin is a little bit better on its own. So even though the mana curve is kind of screaming for the Cleric here, I think, I have this guy for taunt. You know what? Hang on a minute. The Mogushan Warden taunts, the Voidwalker taunts. There's more taunt in this game than there is quality creature buff. I'm going to trust my instincts. I'm going to take the Shattered Sun Cleric. My heart is really calling out for this. I know this engine is fantastic, but we do need 3 drops, and the Shattered Sun Cleric is one of the best that you can get. Okay, here we go. We're rewarded for our patience with a really great 4-drop, the Yeti. That'll be an easy grab right there. And this is what I'm talking about, what I don't like about Warlock. If I were like a mage, this could have been a Blizzard, you know. If I were a hunter, this could be an Eaglehorn Bow. If I were a shaman, this could be Lightning Storm. What am I, Warlock? And I get this piece of shit. Sorry, jeez, sorry. I have received feedback that I swear a little bit too much, and there are children present. I do apologize. But anyway, this is a piece of poo-poo, because it's the same exact thing as a Sen'jin Shieldmaster. It's a 3/5 with taunt, but it costs a mana less and you have to destroy one of your crystals. So instead of like paying a mana for the turn, you lose a mana permanently. In what universe is that good? I can't play that. Maybe in the end game this is okay, but you can't play it on turn 3 and then delay your Dread Infernals and Kodos and everything else for like a whole turn. I can't do it. I can't. I'm gonna take Twilight Drake. I just can't do it. Okay, HELLFIRE is very important. It's the Warlock's primary form of mass removal. Oh, we're gonna get a legendary. That's cool. Well, the Blood Mage Thelnos. So, unlike these two, obviously he's cheap and readily playable, which is nice. But honestly, though, the impact on the game is a bit minimal. So I'll take one of these two. Deathwing is a very YOLO card. If your opponent has a polymorph or a Shadow or Death or a Mind Control, it's game over. So I guess we'll take the less powerful but also less YOLO-y Ysera here. I've never played with her before, so this will be our first time. Ah, Shadow Bolt. It is pretty good removal. We'll be happy to pick it up here. This guy, he could be good with things like, well, he's good if you buff him with Shattered Sun Cleric. He's good with Dark Iron Dwarf, if I'm fortunate enough to see one. He's good with Power Overwhelming. That adds an extra 8 damage on him, so I can go for that. I currently don't have any of those combos yet, unfortunately. So I'll take the less risky play. We'll grab the Taunter here, since I passed on Ascension earlier. Let's grab him there. Ah! We have another crack at an Amani Berserker, the best 2-drop in the game. Definitely going to take that. I could take a Bluegill Warrior here. I'm a bit light on removal, but, man, I am kind of... Yeah, I mean, I could take this. It would be nice to have over the Dread Infernal. Oh, man. I love those Dread Infernals, though. Okay, we'll make sure our curve has a low end. We'll grab the Bluegill Warrior here for some early game pickup. Ugh, what is this? Well, this is actually kind of nifty. It's, like, ridiculously overpriced damage, but getting a demon is kind of nifty. The Mountain Giant is really cool, too, but we'll go ahead and grab the Bane of Doom. I think if that were a Sea Giant, I would have taken it. Well, this is pretty much trash here, so we'll grab another Chillwind Yeti. Curve is a bit heavy on the 4s. A third Chillwind Yeti? No, this is a bit too much. Let's make sure we have early plays and grab a Fairy Dragon here. Another Hellfire? Yeah, I think it's important to have more of those, even over a Voidwalker. Another Warden? No, let's take an Ooze, get one of those in against weapons. Dread Infernal. This is all really good stuff. I'm really going to think about taking a Flame Imp. Let's see. We actually, I mean, we have a pretty light curve. There's not much at 5 or more. So we'll grab Dread Infernal. This is very good, but it all dies to Flame Strike. And this has some added bonuses of, you know, being able to damage everything else. Man, I can't believe I passed on 2 Flame Imps. I love Flame Imps so much, but I think the Demon Fire was good, and Dread Infernal, oh man, I got 2 1-drops already, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drops. Yeah, we'll take Dread Infernal. I feel like it's just the better card. Well, the Worgen fits really nicely into this gaping hole, into my curve. We'll be happy to pick that up. And another Voidwalker? No, we'll take the Earthen Ring Farseer for some healing. As a Warlock, it would be nice to have. And Drain Life is nice and all, but let's take another Shattered Sun Cleric. With all those 1-drops I have, it's nice. Here we go. Power Overwhelming. Happy to pick that up. And we're going to end with a 4 or 5-drop. Abomination kills a lot of my own stuff. Spell damage is not actually all that useful, although it does help with Mortal Coil, so that's worth considering. Deal 2 damage to a minion. If that kills it, draw a card. That's kind of awesome. Hellfire could stand getting buffed a little, then it kills all my own stuff too, even better. We'll trust my instincts. I'm going to take Defender of Argus for more buffing. One important thing to remember, folks, Defender of Argus buffs your creature. It's really good. If you only have 1 creature on the board, don't dismiss playing Defender of Argus. At that point, it's like a Shattered Sun Cleric, because it's giving it +1/+1, and Taunt. So Shattered Sun Cleric is so good, and under the right circumstances, I would totally pay an extra mana for a Shattered Sun Cleric. And then the Defender of Argus obviously has a bigger upside if there are 2 creatures you can buff with it. Let's take a sip of Good Luck water before our first game and see who we're up against. Sakarax, the Priest. I'm a bit sad by how I got no Flame Imps. That's the 3/2 that deals 2 damage when it comes into play guy. I don't think we need this just yet. Let's wait a little bit longer for Power Overwhelming. It is card disadvantage, unless you get some kind of combo on it. I didn't see any Harvest Golems, so I don't have any combos with Power Overwhelming. Alright, well, we're going to do what everyone hates to see, which is play a Blood Imp. Priests actually hate these a little bit less because their removal is based, their removal, Shadow Word Pain and Shadow Word Death is based on the attack value, not on the health of the creature. But if he's not rocking those, and if we're just doing trades, this is you're just paying a card for all your creatures to be harder hitters. It's just nuts. It is stone cold bonkers nuts. Alright, well, don't attack with the with the Blood Imp, keep him around. Now, you have to be careful. At some point, when it looks like your board is ripe for a Holy Nova, do throw the Blood Imp away. But the nice thing is that it really just helps your creatures out to have the Blood Imp there, even if the Blood Imp ends up dying. Alright, my opponent made a clever move here. He gave his Bluegill Warrior extra health so that when my Money Berserker runs in, the Bluegill Warrior will not die. This is where I would love to see a Shattered Sun Cleric. Looks like that is not to be. Oh man, Shattered Sun Cleric would own my opponent here. Hellfire? Is that worth playing? I mean, it's an interesting idea for sure. Let's not go too crazy here. Let's just go ahead. I mean, look at all these 4-drops. I'm clearly coining something else. Let's go ahead and coin out the Mogushan Warden, and let's go ahead and do I want to enrage this guy or do I want to just keep him steady? The problem is this will die to a Shadow Word Pain, but I bet if my opponent had Shadow Word Pain, he would have used this already. So I'm guessing my opponent doesn't have Shadow Word Pain. Do I want to let that affect me? Because basically, if he doesn't have Shadow Word Pain, but he does have Shadow Word Death, once this guy gets enraged, it'll be ripe to that. I'm actually going to enrage him. I'm going to do it. So the idea behind enraging him is that, yes, he now dies to Shadow Word Death, but if my opponent plays Ascension Shieldmaster, this thing is ready to get the kill, which I think is really cool. It also gives me something to pop with Bane of Doom in a couple of turns. Looks like my opponent, if he's attacking, definitely does not have any Shadow Word Pains. He's going to heal up the creature, making my buff irrelevant here. Oh man, everything is sitting at Bane of Doom territory. Oh my god. I'm pretty excited. Alright, no Shadow Word Death incoming just yet for this Berserker. That's nice to know. So on my turn, I could actually use the Spellbreaker on this guy, drop him back down to 1 health, kill him with my Warden. It is an option. Another option is to play Hellfire. That would kill 2 of his cards and 2 of mine, so it's not really that great. A third option I just drew is to play Defender of Argus. That actually seems kind of nice. Yeah, we'll do this. This protects my Berserker against Holy Nova, and it also means that my Mogushan Warden can kill something. What I'm actually going to do is kill the Panda, because now that this thing has Taunt, the Blue Warrior can actually run into it. So we want to make sure that Panda, which can deal 3 damage, can't do it. This, of course, isn't to say that my opponent won't find a way to kill this. He could, Shattered Sun Cleric, or Dark Iron Dwarf, any kind of buff, but it'll take a little bit of effort. This might be a Holy Nova now, otherwise I don't see the point of doing that. Luckily my Defender of Argus will survive. I could have considered playing the Defender of Argus over here. That way, this guy wouldn't have gotten Taunt and the Blue Warrior wouldn't have been able to attack it. You know what? I would say that I should have done that. That would have been smart. I just, for some reason, was so sure that he would actually run into my Warden. Oh, no Holy Nova! Interesting. Okay. Well, that's a thing. Power Overwhelming. Well, that's cute and all, but I think what we're going to do here is just play it simple. Let's go ahead and let's see, if this guy dies anyway, I might as well hit that thing. Yeah, we're going to do it like this. We're going to do this. Bane of Doom. Get a Demon. A Blood Imp. Really? Well, that's what I get for playing with Bane of Doom. I get Blood Imp. I'm actually going to go ahead and reveal this one. Am I? Yeah, I'll send him in. I think I want to start dealing as much damage as I can. I still have another one. And the way that buffing and removal of buffs work is that these guys will actually stay at 2 and 3. So basically, by getting another Blood Imp, I healed my guys by 1, which is kind of nifty. Hellfire is a little bit double-edged, unfortunately, at this stage. But if my opponent doesn't get like a Holy Nova right now, I'm not sure how he's going to come back from this game. So I'll spend his whole turn playing Holy Nova. The Defender of Argus lives, keeps on whacking for 3. I've got, oh, Mind Games, interesting. I have 7 points of burn in my hand here, essentially. I got a Shattered Sun Cleric. That's not the best thing he could have gotten. Nor, however, is it the worst thing he could have gotten. Alright, Shattered Sun Cleric of my own here. Let's think about what to do with this. One option is to put it actually on this Blood Imp. The idea there is to put him above Holy Nova, so he doesn't die to Holy Nova. Another option is to put it on the Monty Berserker so that He survives against Holy Nova, but not against the Shadowstone Cleric though. That will still kill my Money Berserker. Another option is to put it on my Defender of Argus and then use that to kill the Shadowstone Cleric. The issue is that one of his creatures is going to live to kill my Money Berserker, unless I use Power Overwhelming here. So, what's the best way to do it? Well, maybe I'll do it like this. How about I trade there, and then use... Oh, no, nope, 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 nope. Always draw cards first. Gah, always draw cards first. Snapshot. Okay, no, I'll still play the Shattered Sun Cleric. Buff that up so it survives against this Crocolisk. I mean, my opponent could kill my guy easily enough. I think I'll start attacking with this now, too. I don't really see why not. I've got 7 points of burn here, so, you know, I might as well get my opponent as close as I can. Big Game Hunter! Oh, my God! Well played. That is funny. So he now gets to kill one of my Blood Imps. I'm not really that bothered by that, though. As long as my opponent leaves this Shattered Sun Cleric alive, I will... Oh, no, I will not quite have enough damage to kill unless this Blood Imp is also enabled to attack. We'll see. Maybe I shouldn't... well, I clearly, in retrospect, shouldn't have buffed the Money Berserker. So now, I have 4, 8, 11 damage. My opponent's at 13 health. Bleh. Well... HELLFIRE is interesting. It will kill history creatures, but not mine. I could also run the Blood Imp in and then use Mortal Coil to draw a card. But why do that when I can just draw a card normally? Dude, does an extra mana help me? 6 mana, not really helpful. Well, what if I draw something? Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to run this guy in, Mortal Coil to finish it off. See what we get. Voidwalker. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, we'll play the Voidwalker, preserve my Shattered Sun Cleric, and we'll just play a Yeti. So the Yeti is the preferable creature here because unlike the Oasis Snapjaw, he does not die to Stampeding Kodos or Shadow Word Pains. Oh man, if I had just not buffed my Berserker, my opponent seems not to have Shadow Word Death or Shadow Word Pain, or really anything. Holy Nova, he doesn't seem to have any of the priest cards. Not that I'm complaining, but because of that, I could have potentially won earlier had my guy not died to a Big Game Hunter. Okay, well, let's think about this. HELLFIRE will kill my Shattered Sun Cleric. Is there a way that I can win right here? If I, let's suppose I were to HELLFIRE, pop Divine Shield. No, how about this? Let's say I Spellbreaker, silence this. HELLFIRE kills that, and my Shattered Sun Cleric, and that. And this guy, actually. Okay. But that puts my opponent down to 7 health. 4 plus... Oh, I'm a mana short! Shit, if I play this, and this, that's 9 mana. Ahahaha, I almost made a very terrible mistake. Let's go ahead and just silence this thing, then. We'll swing here. So Power Overwhelming plus the Yeti is 8 damage, and then I'm 1 mana short of playing HELLFIRE, so we'll put the beats on and play this guy, because he's really hard to kill. Except, of course, with Shadow Word Pain, which could be top-decked. So my opponent can get rid of this very easily. This, if he got a Shadow Word Pain, finally. This guy's going to take a little bit of effort. He'd need like a Dark Iron Dwarf to take care of him. And as long as one of my creatures lives, it plus Power Overwhelming plus HELLFIRE will win the game. Of course, assuming that there's no taunts played. So my opponent has a number of ways to get out of this. Mind Control is actually not going to do it. So it gets to kill that, but this beast will live. And we're going to play Power Overwhelming and just win. Did not need HELLFIRE in this particular game. Well played. Alright, good game, Sucker Axe the Priest. That Bane of Doom giving me a Blood Imp was kinda crap luck. Am I allowed to say crap? I think crap is okay. Kids, it's okay to say the word crap. That's not that bad of a word. Cast 40 spells. I don't know if I have that many spells here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I have 2 HELLFIREs. I forgot about that. 7. Decent number. Okay. Bane of Doom can give you any demon in the game. You could get, like, Dread Infernal. You could, like, Pay 5 mana, kill an opponent's creature, and get a 6/6. Like, I've seen that happen. You can get a Succubus. You can even get that Felguard without the Battle Cry. He's fine. So the fact that I got like a 1/1, took off my creature's health, kind of slowed down how long it took me to win the game. But if you play with that Bane of Doom card, that's how it's going to go. Sometimes we get the worst one you can get, and sometimes we get the best one you can get. That's just how it is. Botiro-san the Mage. Well, this is actually a really fine hand so far. I'll even keep this guy around. I mean, yeah, it seems great. So basically, I've got this just to play, and then that's a bit tricky actually for mages to deal with it. You basically have to use creatures. Mages don't have any weapons, so creatures are area of effect removal. That's sort of the bane of mages, though. I mean, they have, of course, creatures in area of effect removal, but mages like to pick at creatures with their hero ability and with their spells, like Frostbolt, so this is pretty nice to have. And this I'm probably going to just reserve for removal because I don't want it to get picked off by the mage's hero ability. I will actually be aggressive because I've learned that holding back the coin, even when it seems in theory to be a good idea, not to use it if you don't have anything better to do, in practice is not that smart. I often, and you've seen it on the videos, I often find myself really wishing that I had used the coin. So look at this is a really great example. So I could have not used the coin, but instead I used it, which means I get to play a creature, kill his fairy dragon, excuse me, her fairy dragon, and swing for 3 damage. So I'm starting the beat train here. And actually, this is going to be a nice drop on turn 3, so we kind of top-decked our way out of our hole. Alright, we're going to have to give a well played here. Yeah, that is going to take care of business. Now, I'm going to kill this now, because I want the Raging Worgen to have a shot at life here. My opponent could, of course, have a Frostbolt, but I've got 2 Chillwind Yetis on deck. Oh, yeah. Now, if my opponent has cards as good as mine, she'll be fine. But, wow, that was something. Did my opponent just play 3 fairy dragons in a row? I think she did. Do I use... You know, I'll let my opponent do the trade. We'll get the damage in. I think the 3 damage is important. And I don't know much that my opponent would do. So my opponent could, of course, play Dark Iron Dwarf, buff this, kill my Chillwind, but then I still do have the Raging Worgen and another Yeti, so it wouldn't be the end of the world. Okay, it looks like my opponent has no tricks. I got to deal 3 damage for free. Rock on. Rock on. Alright, my opponent's dealing a point of damage to this. Very smart. Gets it ready for Flame Strike in a little bit. Okay. Well, I can play this. It doesn't really hold up very well against the Harvest Golem. I can play this. This is my 1 silence. Silence to stop it from coming back. But I've got Dread Infernal coming up next turn, so it'll actually kill the Harvest Golem that spawns. So I'm okay with that. What I'm going to do here is play the Chillwind Yeti, ignore her Harvest Golem, and I will play the Voidwalker. So the Harvest Golem plus Hero ability will finish this off, but that means that my Yetis are unmolested, which means that I'm actually dealing 8 damage to my opponent next turn. That's kind of a lot of damage. Ah, Sea Giant. Well, it's a pretty good card. But that means my Voidwalker lives. Haha. Oh no, it doesn't live! No! Because I have to play Dread Infernal, and then this thing's going to die. Oops. Okay, I think the right way to do it is as follows. Let's actually go ahead and finish off the Harvest Golem. What this allows me to do then is to throw the Voidwalker into the Sea Giant. I think dealing a point of damage to that is more important than dealing a point of damage to my opponent's face. Now we're going to play Dread Infernal to finish off that little golem and deal 4 more damage. So now, this thing actually trades with the Dread Infernal, and a Flame Strike does kill my Yetis, but this lives, and I'm ready to kill the Giant. In 3 turns, I've got my Legendary coming up, so I should be okay. Bit of card disadvantage after these 2 die to a Flame Strike, but I might still be alright. Ah, no Flame Strike! Well, I'm pretty sure that if my opponent had Flame Strike, she would have played it. Ah, Defender of Argus, also a good use of her time. Oh man, you know what I want? Mortal Coil! Where is it? Where is Mortal Coil? Please? Please? Nope. God, gee. You know what? I'm gonna fish for Mortal Coil. Nah. Okay. Oh man, that just sucks. That I have to throw away Yeti for this. Bah. Do I use my silence here or my taunt? Let's just use, let's just Trader-Roo. So we're going to kill that and that. And we're going to pass the turn. So basically, my opponent has 5 cards, I have 5 cards. I have a creature, she has a creature. My creature's better, but she's up to play. And I have a pretty big life advantage. So I think we're doing alright here. You should really expect your opponents not to have legendaries. They're quite uncommon, so I'm not really expecting my opponent to have a legendary to match mine, so I feel like in my head I have the edge here. Bane of Doom. Oh, it's pretty perfect. I think it's worth doing. So I'm going to do this. Kill this thing off. Hopefully get something better than a Blood Imp this time. Look at that! Oh, that's really good. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to play the Farseer and heal up my Fen Creeper. This is a couple of things. Number one, makes it not die to Flame Strike. Number two, makes it survive against the Defender of Argus. And if my opponent does play Flame Strike, this thing will live. So basically she uses Hero ability to finish off the Fen Creeper, and then the Argus has to kill my Dread Infernal, which I got for free from the Bane of Doom. But what's really cool is that now I get to play Ysera onto an empty board. That is absolutely ideal. I looked up the dream cards once, but I forgot what they are. It's like really good stuff. I mean, that's kind of amazing. A 3/5 for 3 mana. That's above average stats, and it's got an effect. Now, my opponent, of course, has Polymorph. That's really the one spell. It is the one spell, yeah, because Fireball doesn't deal enough damage. The thing had 12 health. So that was my short-lived run with Ysera. Bah, go suck a dog. Alright, well, here, I think we'll play the Twilight Drake before it becomes completely terrible. And let's also... Oh, shit, I should have drawn a card. Sorry for screwing. Yeah, let's go ahead and draw a card. I meant to do that first. Okay, that's fine. It didn't change anything. We're going to play Laughing Sister. Fast turn. So this is actually nice. It can't be targeted, so really the only way to kill it is to buff the Earthen Ring Farseer. I should have drawn a card first before playing the Twilight Drake. It would have an extra point of health if I did. If I had done that. Looks like my opponent has something or other planned for this Laughing Sister. Is your Drake? Ah, she should have done that first. Always draw cards first. Well, we both made the same mistakes. Ah, she's going to go ahead of me. Fair enough. Swamp Ooze is just a 2-drop here. I am actually... Well... Let's kill this thing. Let's draw a card, see what I get. HELLFIRE. That could be useful. Really wish I had a... What is my thinking of? I forget what I wish I had. Sorry, I started a sentence and then I just forgot how it was supposed to end. I could use Silence on this to make the major spells deal less damage. That is obviously kind of scary, if they deal as much damage as they do. Yeah, we'll do this. We'll put this on. So this kind of trades with the Azure Drake, and it stops the mage from doing really terrifying things with spells, like, 2 damage cones of cold and whatnot. Speaking of which, I should have kept this in the middle, because it can't be targeted. Stampeding Coda will kill my Snapjaw. That is a heartbreak. Am I really going to lose this game? I might. I feel like there was a window there where I had the chance, and it's kind of like slipping away from me. Oh man, she's putting on more crap. That's not good. Okay, I think the time has come. I really wanted to play this and enrage it, but I think the ship has sailed. Let's just go ahead and play this. And, oh man, why did I play those in the wrong order? Oh my god, I'm sorry folks. I don't know what's going on with me today. Let's just go ahead and keep on swinging here. Trying to get my opponent down to where HELLFIRE and maybe a top-decked Power Overwhelming will finish her off. Man, I was really lucky that that Bane of Doom flipped a Dread Infernal, because without that I'd be in trouble. This thing should have an extra point of damage on it. I don't know why I played it before the Dread Infernal. But such is life. Water Elemental, alright. And another Water Elemental. Well, 6 plus 3 is 9. 9 plus 3 is 12. This is 3, 5, 8, 11. If my opponent top decks a Fireball, I will lose. Unless I play a HELLFIRE. If I play HELLFIRE, I'll go down to 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. I'm only losing to a Pyroblast. Ah. Well, I think we'll do that then. So we're going to swing. Do I want to draw a card here? No, we're just going to play HELLFIRE now. And also, Shadow Bolt one of these guys. And let's play an Ooze. So my opponent has to top deck her way out of the situation, otherwise of course she's just dead to my Ooze or to my Dread Infernal. She can't quite kill me. She can give it a 12, 11, even Pyroblast will not finish the job. What has she got? She has a Frostbolt. That's a pretty good card under these circumstances. So we trade. She deals a point of damage to me. Well, we're going to obviously draw a card here. 12 health is safe from a top-decked Pyroblast. Mortal Coil. Alright. A neat trick is that you can actually Mortal Coil your Money Berserker and enrage it. No need to do that now. Actually, maybe I should have not done that, although top decked Flame Strike will save my opponent. Then again, if my opponent, if I hadn't played my creature and my opponent had a removal spell, like, I would have really felt silly not putting this. Alright, here we go. There's my Power Overwhelming, a bit late to the party, but we score the game against Poterasan, the Mage. Right, well, this deck has been performing pretty well. Other than my little mistakes, it's been a good deck, you know. Hate the player, not the deck, as the old saying goes. And that is 2 games. So we're going to pause right here. We're going to get 4 out of 40 on our Spellmaster daily. Woo! And, oh, you know what I should have done? I should have played Power Overwhelming at the end of that game to get an extra tick on the quest. That's what I don't like about the quests, is that the ones that don't require you to just win with a particular class or just win games in general, they like encourage you to make bad plays or like douchey plays, like playing stuff out at when the game is clearly over, and when it's like, you know, no, I'm not showing off that I had cards, I'm just I'm just doing my daily. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, do please like and or subscribe, and if you want to see how this arena run ends, well then stick around. The rest of the games are going to be posted shortly. I shall see you then.